You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 After Show.
Hey, welcome. Bing is for doing, and we're here doing the first after show for Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. We do so many ABC shows. I am actually Phil Svitek. I host the Revenge After Show here at AfterBuzz TV. I am joined alongside ABC's Once Upon a Time AfterBuzz TV After Show host
Tiona Hobson. Hello, everyone.
That's right. And other AfterBuzz TV shows on ABC that we do, Dancing with the Stars, that we do that on Wednesdays. We also just wrapped our Happy Endings preview show, which is what this is.
Yeah.
We're here doing a preview show for Season 2. I will not actually be a regular host. I'm just kind of filling in, and I'm almost going to be interviewing Tiona.
Okay.
About the show.
Yeah.
So we'll have some fun, and we discovered that Marisa has actually seen just about 35% of Season 1.
I have, yes.
Marisa is in the booth. She's our engineer tonight.
What's up, everyone?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And let's start with this. What did you guys like about Season 1? Let's start there, and we'll kind of build to Season 2 and what we expect to see and things like that.
Okay. Season 1, I thought it was a funny show. When you have the B word in the title of your show, I think you kind of have to have a character.
Didn't it go through many name changes? Like it was just going to be Apartment 23.
Yeah.
Don't trust the bitch in Apartment 20. It went through several name changes.
I think when they kind of had the GCB debacle where they had bitches and the good Christian bitches, I think they decided to drop using the B word, and so they just went with the B. But yeah, it went from Don't Trust the B to Apartment 23 to just
I gotta say, I'm glad they went with the B. I would have liked to see bitch, but obviously you can't.
it's
sure
ABC.
It's ABC, but at least like there's something more enticing, like Don't Trust the B in Apartment 23, because like, ooh, I gotta go see that, versus like if I just saw Apartment 23.
Yeah. Plus, most of the time, when you're talking about a friend, or at least girlfriends, usually it's like, oh man, this B right here. Like, you don't use the whole word because
I gotta get with it.
Yeah, you gotta get with it. Because if you use the whole word, then your friend might get mad at you because they might think you're serious. But if you're like, shut up, B,
okay,
then it's kind of okay.
All right, so you were drawn to the show by the name, and then obviously you stuck with it for what reason?
Mostly Kristen Ritter, because I think that to play a B on a show, you have to also be a likable B. And I think that she does pull that off very well. Like, she comes off as not just a B, but you can also see the vulnerable side in her and like little glimpses and hints of that you see. And I think that she does a good job portraying a B that's also a nice person.
And Marisa, what about you? I know you've only seen 35% of the season, but what did you like about it? Or, if you stopped, why did you stop? And I think it's more because you just didn't have time rather than you didn't like it, right?
Yeah, more than I didn't have time. I watched the first 2 episodes, I believe. I liked it because it seemed like a fast-paced show, and it was non-linear, which I like. Their situations, they start in the middle of the action, and then we go back and find out like how they got to the point in the episode. So I like that dynamic, and plus Kristen Ritter, she usually plays like fun, free-spirited characters, and that's always fun to watch, I think.
All right. Well, for those of you listening, and some of you are familiar with AfterBuzz TV, others of you are not, we recap episodes on a weekly basis. So every episode of this show that comes out, we will be here recapping it. Not really recapping, more analyzing it and dissecting it and telling you our favorite parts and things that worked and where we're seeing the show. So the next question I'm about to ask, you're probably going to be bored of, but what was the premise? Like, what was kind of episode to episode? What was the arcs, that you guys remember, that you guys liked?
I really like the pilot episode when the roommates meet, because you have Chloe, who's played by Kristen Ritter, and she's kind of running this scam.
And is it really does it fall on her shoulders, kind of like it falls on Bryan Cranston for Breaking Bad, or is it kind of also an ensemble, but she just happens to be the main one?
Yeah, there's definitely an ensemble around her, but she's kind of the main focus because she is the bee, and she's kind of one of those types of people that draws attention to herself and has to be the center of attention. So she has all these people around her who kind of keep her grounded to a certain extent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But the pilot episode, she meets June and is trying to run this scam where, she overcharges her for rent, mostly to pay her own bills, and then tries to scare her off and make her move out before being there for a whole month so that she has her rent covered. And June, kind of being a Midwestern girl, she thought our Kristen Ritter's character thought that she was just going to be able to kind of take advantage of her. And June turns out to be kind of a hard ass and was like, oh, no, if you're going to do this, then I'm going to sell all your furniture and get my money back. And I thought that was kind of a good way to start the show, because it shows right off the bat that June's not going to be this pushover Midwesterner who Chloe kind of thinks that she will be.
Okay. And Marisa, what did you like about the pilot or second episode?
I like the pilot because these two characters, yes, they are significantly different, which I think they're nice foils to each other, and they play off well with each other, and there's a nice balance there. And I like the dynamic between them, because there's the obviously more crazy one and the more conservative one, and that balance is fun to watch. Okay,
and so that's kind of the conflict for season 1, you would say, mainly like the storyline A, as they would say in Hollywood.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. It kind of reminds me of like a new age version of The Odd Couple.
Okay.
That was the title of that show, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Well, that was a show.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the one you mean.
Yes, it was. That's the one I mean. It kind of is like that. You have these two opposite people who are trying to live together and form some sort of friendship, and the outcome.
All right. And do you guys relate to it because you're girls and kind of, did you grow up in cities and things like that, and you had to share apartments? Certainly in LA,
yeah.
I'm going to make an assumption that you probably live in an apartment and have a roommate.
Yeah, I grew up in the suburbs of LA. And
you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just relocated down here. I live with my brother and his best friend.
Okay.
So I've got 2 roommates.
My assumptions are terrible.
But it's not that far off. I do have roommates, and there is a new dynamic that you have to kind of adjust to when living with someone. And I think that especially for June's character on the show, I connected with her because she's 26 years old, just out of college, moving to New York City, thinks she has her life plan all laid out, and then kind of gets hit with this bomb that the job she thought she has doesn't work out. The company went under. She loses her apartment, ends up, on the streets trying to find a new job, and that's how she ends up with Chloe.
Okay. And did it lend itself to kind of guest stars in the first season or no? Did you see many?
You saw a few, but I think the biggest one is James Vanderpeek.
Okay.
Sorry. He's a regular on this series. He plays himself, exaggerated version of himself. And I think it's funny because, you have all the Dawson's Creek references. Clearly, obviously, that's what he's mostly known for. So, in having him playing himself, it opens the door for a whole big chunk of 90s sitcom stars to come in and be in and out of his life just for that.
Here's the reason why I kind of wanted to ask that question is because I see a lot of with TV shows when they first get started, they don't necessarily have a lot of guest stars because they're just getting started. They want to introduce A, the characters, B, people may not know the show, so they may say no to it initially. And then as the show builds, the biggest case in point is probably Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know, that got popular, and Danny DeVito then joined on, and you know, just kind of exploded from there. But I'm wondering your take on who some potential special guests could be for season 2, because I think that's part of the fun. As any of these comedies really grow, that opens the door for that, and it makes it all the more fun.
Definitely. Well, they've already had Dean Cain came on and played himself. There's this whole arc with James Vanderbeek that he's going to be a contestant on Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
So
that's
ABC.
What, yes.
Yeah. So that opened the door to bring in a lot of other people. So I mean, I hope to see some of the actual people who competed on Dancing with the Stars, like maybe Steve Urkel, Jaleel White could come through. You know, because he was from the 90s as well. I'd love to see Mark Paul Gosselaar from
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell. He's going to be on the
Zach
premiere.
Morris. You might know him as. Most people don't know him by his actual name, unfortunately.
Yeah, Zach Morris will be guest starring this season along with Frankie Munoz from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be on. Yeah, that's the one.
Munez.
I can say it right one of these days. Who else has been on? Michael Landis came on and played himself in an episode last season. I wasn't quite sure what I knew him from when I saw him, but I knew the name when I saw him.
Well, there's, of course, John Landis, who's a legend in comedy. Michael Landis. I'm drawing a blank. Marissa, can you help me out? Michael Landis.
I will definitely look that up.
I should probably know who he is. I know. I know. Obviously, again, John Landis is a legend.
Yeah.
Then I actually know his son Max Landis. He did. He wrote for the Chronicle movie. And then Marissa, I know, is doing research right now.
Thank you, Marissa.
Okay, so that's kind of the people. Let's see. If I had to pick a contestant from Dancing with the Stars, that would be funny. Let's see, who would be funny from Donald Driver would actually be fun. I think he has a fun personality.
Yeah.
A little bit more reserved. Mm-hmm. Either that or Roshan Fagan's actually fun. I like that kid.
Yeah.
All right, Michael Landis. He was he played Jimmy Olsen in the Lois and Clark New Adventures of.
Oh, okay. So we're drawing back to Dean Cain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
Back to the 90s.
Back to the 90s.
With Dean Cain.
Wasn't that long ago, right? The 90s.
Oh, it was so long. I can't believe it. We're getting old.
Dean Cain's making a lot of appearances on different shows. He was recently in Criminal Minds, now in Apartments.
And he was on The Choice. My favorite, The Choice.
That's true. And he was also in Stars and Stripes, whatever that new reality show was.
Oh, was that when the celebrities had to, like, it was like a Survivor, but for celebrities? Oh, okay.
All right, so there you have it. Before we move any further, I want to kind of tell you guys, you know, how things work here at AfterBuzz TV. We are super fans first and foremost. Well, I'm a super fan, just I've never seen this show. And again, I will not be hosting it for the rest of the season. We have an amazing co-host that will be coming in to join Tiona. Again, I am not one of them. But we do this every week, and we do it for the love, and we really want to connect with you guys as fans and to really build a community. So we kind of give you our opinion right after we watch the show, which we watch it, we kind of watch it live when it airs, and then we go up right after. And so part of the deal is we initiate the conversation, but we like to continue it by you guys telling us what you guys think. And the best way to do that is, as you're probably doing right now, you're on iTunes, because that's where you download it. So rate and comment while you're there. Let us know what you're thinking about the show. Guess what? We may be doing amazingly, but you want to hear some more opinions about storyline B or storyline, whatever direction you guys kind of want us to go in, let us know, and we will. That's kind of the cool part here at AfterBuzz TV. We really listen. So let us know what you guys like, because we'll continue doing that. If there's improvements, of course we'll listen. But it doesn't happen unless you let us know. So rate and comment on iTunes, and we appreciate it. And the other thing that really, really helps, and you guys, for those of you who are returning AfterBuzzers, have really done this in the past. So you guys, I love how you guys embody the spirit, but really tell a friend and spread the word. It's the easiest way to, why wouldn't you want to do it?
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the show, then that only enhances your conversation with people, because then you're like, I remember them saying this on the AfterBuzz TV show, and again, it just engages your friends on a different level, because now you have another frame of reference.
Yeah, plus if you tell a friend, then you'll have someone else to talk to about it.
That's right.
You won't just be talking to yourself.
That's right. Building a community here. I like that. All right. So we talked about special guests, but I want to talk about what you kind of expect perhaps the season arc to be, or just like random fun moments that you'd love to see in the second season, or just even expectations in general.
Okay. Season 2, there is one episode arc in season 1 where Chloe dates, that June dates Chloe's dad. She was unaware at the time, but Chloe did set them up. So I'd like to see Chloe's dad come back around, because I think they really had something there, but clearly the age difference and the fact that it was her roommate's dad kind of scared her away from that a little bit. So I think that would be a fun arc to kind of go down, or just kind of seeing more in the life of James's character, because he was around, but he wasn't really in their lives that much. So I'd like to see him really in there a lot more this season.
Okay.
I think that could bring some crazy things, like, parties that they'd go to, or just random celebrity, celebrity.
Well, that's how you tie in special guests.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that could be a lot of fun for the two girls to kind of be out and about and living a Hollywood lifestyle.
All right. Well, I unfortunately, I have expectations. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm glad we're doing this as an AfterBuzz show.
Yeah.
And the other kind of comedy that we're doing from ABC is Happy Endings, and I really like kind of building our ties and bonds. And the nice part is, because we're building that, it promises to yield special guests like Happy Endings. All the writers and in fact many of the actors as well, they want to come into the after show, and so that's part of our thing here. Is we will work extremely hard to get you guys guests. The only caveat is it's sometimes hard with people scheduling. That's the only reason. That's 99.9% of the time the reason why we can't get guests is because of scheduling.
Yeah, because they are working still.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue. And depending on, I don't know what it is like with this show, but for Happy Endings, for example, they tape at night. And so since we tape at night, it doesn't yield great results. But ironically, we've had them come in multiple times for Happy Endings, and so we expect something.
Yeah. And I also like that ABC is putting these two, our Happy Endings and Apartment 23, back to back, because I think they're both kind of sleeper comedies that people know about and people watch, but they don't have like the hugest ratings yet. But I think they're both really, really great comedies. So I hope that this works out, this block of.
And I think, obviously, Happy Endings is hitting season 3.
Yeah.
And actually, AfterBuzz has got me into it, so they did their job. They told a friend, which was me, and I really got into it. And I think that's kind of, ironically, I think that's the story of Happy Endings. It grew from because of the tell a friend mentality.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think I really like that Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 is continuing to second season. I think it will hit its really nice stride. I'm going to say season 3, but that doesn't mean that, season 2 numbers will, I think they'll be great, and it's only going to continue to grow, which,
Yeah, and I love that ABC gets.
And you know what, I just found out that for those who may not have listened to the last after show, we just did the preview for Happy Endings for the season 3, that if you don't know...
Spoiler alert!
I just found out in the Happy Endings that they may actually, I think they're planning on trying to do a crossover episode from Happy Endings to Apartment 23. I guess at the end of the Happy Endings episode, they're making a comment about James Vanderbeek and where he's at, and then they're going to lead into the Apartment 23 episode, and we see James Vanderbeek is in that episode. So just that whole tie-in with the crossover, I think that should be interesting to watch and look out for.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Nice spoiler. That's a good one. Well, unless you have any other kind of expectations, that kind of round. I mean, again, I don't have anything else to add. But what's nice is we'll be back here every week.
Yes, we will. Well, I will.
You will.
Yeah, I'll
we as the collective AfterBuzz, and hopefully you as the collective viewership.
Yes.
So on behalf of myself, follow out AfterBuzz TV. Or if you like Revenge, listen to me on Revenge. I think there's a lot of fans, a lot of ABC fans.
Yeah, ABC is a good network.
And so listen to that. But you can, of course, listen to Tiona every week here on Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 and on Once Upon a Time. But where can they chat with you in the meantime if they want to kind of just get to know you better or talk about the show with you on Twitter?
All right. On Twitter, you can find me at TweetT22, TweeTee22.
And Marisa herself also hosts the ABC's Once Upon a Time AfterBuzz TV After Show.
Yes.
And you can tweet her at...
I am at Marisa Movies. That's Marisa Movies on Twitter. And you can also find Tiona and myself on our Once Upon a Time After Show here.
Yes.
There you go. We're just making all the plugs. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was more to salivate your mouth, for the show, because even though I've never seen the show, I'm now actually excited, and hopefully I'll have time to watch these episodes. But I'm excited about it, so hopefully you guys are too, and be here for this season premiere. It promises to be good.
Yeah.
See you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.